Anyway, I love that intro.
It's such
so
a good
cool.
intro.
It
I
is.
actually
Gets
it's
me
my
pumped up.
My favorite intro by far.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it actually ties with the intro where Spunky is on his phone and it's his turn to fly and he looks up and there's a battle cruiser and then Spunky qualifies for GSL Open Season 1 and dies to a battle cruiser rush.
It's very prophetic. Yeah, that was if any of you guys know what don't know what we're talking about, way back in Open Season 1 a year ago now. Yeah, there was like this cool intro where this kid looks up, it's actually Spunky, and a battle cruiser flies overhead. And Spunky is one of the founders of OGS, isn't that right? Yeah.
And obviously, back then, a lot more people were playing StarCraft 2 competitively who do more management roles, like the Wind, of course, back then did quite well as well.
Well, since the game was so new, you could do that, you know. Because
we had Torch qualify for the GSL.
Yeah, that's right.
Artosis qualified for the GSL.
That's right.
I wish I were here during that time, man.
Me too.
Oh, well. One day, when I get a time machine, I know where I'm going.
You're not like going to go back in time and like invent the time machine and take that patent? You're going to go back and try to qualify for the GSL?
Yeah, that's actually what I was planning. I'm not even. I'm not going to like do the Back to the Future thing where I get like an almanac and make all these bets either. I'm just. I'm actually just going to go back and try to qualify. I'm not even going to like cheat or anything. I'm just going to go and try to qualify.
That's kind of an interesting thing, you know, with the patent system the way it is now in the U.S. Like we kind of know that there will never be a time machine invented because people keep trying to go back farther and farther to try to patent
it. It's a paradox, man.
I know. A time paradox. Well,
here is JYP, and I think this guy, I mean, I know he's playing against Oz, who's been really impressive recently. He's obviously my teammate as well. But based on what I've seen from JYP out of his PvP, I think this guy is way favored. This may be our most one-sided series we've seen today.
Well, JYP is an amazing Protoss player. He's very, very good. I've been watching a lot of this guy's games outside of the GSL as well, and he's performed quite well. I'm really, really happy to see him finally get into Code A and actually, you know, do pretty well. I feel like he's worked really hard, and this is something that's been coming a long time for him.
I talked to Coach Lee beforehand, and I asked him what he felt, and he said that for the past few days he hasn't really been able to practice as much as he would have liked to. So he just said, please have faith in him. And I said, okay. Well, here is my teammate, Epixo Oz. This guy, I didn't expect him to make it this far, but he's actually taken out Byun 2-1 and then 2-0'd Superstar with some awesome holds. And he's been impressing me. He's been improving a lot. And this guy, he's going to challenge JYP here. We're going to find out if he can do it. This is going to be an awesome PvP.
Oz wants to make the set. He's taking out a Terran. He's taking out a Zerg. He wants to take out a Protoss now.
Yeah, it's his next move.
Exactly. Wants to be a very well-rounded Code A player here. This guy's also a lot of fun to hang out with in real life.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. Really is. So is JYP. They're both actually really nice in person.
Yeah. I'd have to say Oz says Subsun quite a bit more, though.
Yeah, he does.
If I could differentiate between the two, I think the big difference is the amount of Subsun that comes out of Oz. But it should be a good PvP. Oh, look at that. He's got his like microphone back there like a radio receiver transmitter thing.
Yeah, man, I was thinking the same thing. Just getting the signals.
It's like listening to some K-pop on there.
Just tuned into the radio, yeah.
Yep. And Oz, I mean, especially in TVP, he's shown some kind of flashes of brilliance with Templar. I feel like we should call him Thortos. He's like the god of lightning and thunder.
He's showed us some awesome different timings that most people haven't really been able to figure out.
Yeah.
We've seen other players try to figure it out. Like, I saw hints of Trickster trying to figure out these storm timings, but Oz is like, no, I know him just a little bit better, and that little bit was just enough for him to beat Byun. Now, JYP, his Blink Stalker control is awesome. Now, you guys are going to see in this PvP how different PvP in Korea is than it is in the foreign scene. You don't see very many Colossi. You see Blink Stalkers and Immortals.
That's very, very true.
Our first map is Tal'Darim Altar. It's going to be pretty hard not to 4-gate here. We'll see what these guys choose. The map is loaded. I am Wolf, and with me is Doa. We're in the game now. This is the GSL Code A quarterfinals.
All right, let's get it on. In the bottom right corner, we have our yellow Protoss from the team, the SCV Life. He is.
JYP.
Wow. Keep hearing that voice telling Wolf to build more pylons. There's JYP. And on the lower left part of the map, we have our blue Protoss from the team FXO. He is...
Sounds like it was spoken from the Wizard of Oz himself.
I guess
and
so,
then he's
yeah.
like, pay no attention to the men behind the curtain.
It's like the great and powerful. There he is. So PvP, you know, you mentioned it's going to be hard to fight the temptation of 4-gate on this map, but 4-gate, you know, it's gotten a lot tougher. The Immortal range increased, the vision of ramps. It's gotten easier to hold, harder to execute. But you know what? There are no ramps on this map in the mains.
Yeah, and of course, when 4 gates occur on this map, you've got to be very careful with how you engage. If you can hold off a little bit, there's that one narrow choke point at the entrance to the main, and that's where engagements occur, where both players kind of dance around that area, trying to get the better concave with their stalkers. So, for example, if someone's pushing Oz back into his base, just hypothetically, and Oz has the better concave inside of his base, and he'll have to retreat, and then if Oz tries to pursue, then JYP would on the outside have the better concave with his stalker, so you see a lot of micro battles in that area.
It's very bizarre. It's a PvP on this map is always a little bit different. You know, it's always a little bit more interesting, I think.
There's no high ground advantage you can really have. Sentries are almost absolutely useless.
Very true.
Now, both these guys doing very similar openings, almost exactly even on their timings. 12 gates for both of them. Cores going down the identical time as well.
You know, the big question in this match is, will the mothership acceleration come into play?
I think the answer is no, man.
All right.
Well, Oz, going for a second gateway, looks like he wants to try to do a 3-stalker rush, and even more interestingly, JYP taking a second gas. Now, this is something I like to talk about with PvP. Oz actually hasn't scouted, but oftentimes when you see your opponent taking their second gas, you take yours, and both scouting probes see that, they have like a non-aggression pact. Like, I'm going to take my second gas, you're going to take your second gas, so we're not going to 4-gate each other.
Yeah. Second gateway going down now for JYP, a little bit later than Oz, obviously. So there are going to be a couple extra stalkers out for Oz early on if he so desires. And I think we might actually see... Well, maybe. I was thinking we might see an expansion from Oz, but that just sounds crazy. But, you know, in this new era of PvP, I think we're going to see a lot of new things that seemed crazy a little bit before.
Well, there are some new builds out there. People are trying to fast expand in PvP. It can work, but it's very difficult, especially on a map like Tal'Dorei Malter. Now, I'm really excited to see what tech choices we see. I think we're going to see JYP go for Twilight tech. Obviously, like I said, he's really well known for his Blink Stalker control. Now, Oz is actually doing his first bit of scouting here.
Oz actually put down a 3rd and 4th gateway as well.
And the reason why is because he doesn't know what JYP is doing. He actually hasn't scouted at all, so he has to do this because he doesn't know what's going on. His Stalker's out in the middle of the map. He's trying to catch any probes he can find, these Stalkers. And Stalkers did meet in the middle of the map, and now he's not exactly sure what's going on, so he's trying to play it safe. Meanwhile, back at the base of JYP, he's just sticking with his 3 gates. He's actually chrono boosting all of his units out of those gates.
Oh yeah, he's just making a lot of stalkers, trying to get his count up here.
And there it is, the Twilight Council.
Yep, for both. Oh, not for both players. I thought I saw it on the production queue, but I didn't.
You're seeing things again, Doa?
I know. I'm like looking back and forth between monitors. I'm like looking to see what you're looking at. I'm looking
blinking too much?
Maybe. I could be. I could have a blink problem. My blink micro.
Well, Oz is now going to put on some aggression here with his 4 gateways, and JYP's units are not all in the same place. Oz is going to catch these 3 stalkers. This is huge!
Wow.
Getting 2 stalkers immediately, and JYP only has 3 gateways here. Even catching one of the stalkers in the middle of the map as well. JYP is in trouble.
Oh, look at that. He catches another one, and if Oz can get in and kill that pylon that's powering those 3 gateways,
that is the only pylon powering those gateways. Nice control by Oz. He's targeting the pylon. The pylon is getting low. Probes are coming out here. He does have to back away. Can't target the pylon. Very close. But another pylon is about to be started for Oz. Very close to JYP. The pylon is low. He's targeting Stalkers instead. A much better choice. Sentries warped in here. That may be actually the last thing that JYP wants to do. He just didn't have enough resources to warp in Stalkers. But those Sentries are not going to be useful at all here.
Oh, look at that. He's trying out right into the
and he gets the pylon. All 3 gateways are unpowered, and this may be it for JYP in Game 1.
Yeah,
as Oz warps in more Stalkers in his new forward pylon. That pylon will never finish if Oz doesn't want it to.
Yeah, exactly. Look, he's going to kill so many probes.
GG.
And Oz getting a little bit of a lucky break there, but taking full advantage of it. Gets a good solid win in Game 1. Wow, and JYP, that's just one of those things where you're going to be kicking yourself for that the next day. You know, it's like, why did I only put one pylon by those warp gates? Why did I have my stalkers just sitting there? It's a rough game, but it's a best of 3, man. We've still got more yet.
It is a best of 3.
Yeah.
And Oz, you know, he actually just put on a little bit of pressure. And sometimes if you get lucky in these scenarios, you can just win games.
Yeah, as we just saw.
So JYP just played a little bit too risky. He wanted to get that blink out. He stuck with the 3 gates. He had an Artosis pylon.
Oh.
And, you know, if you have an Artosis pylon powering your gateways.
I feel so bad for him. It's like one ladder game, and for the rest of his life, it's going to be an Artosis pylon.
Was that a ladder game, or was it an ASL game?
I think it was like one ladder game that he was streaming. I thought
it was an ASL game where he was 4-gating, and then he lost his pylon. I don't actually remember. But the term is out there. It doesn't really matter. So far back, it's become like Starcraft 2 myth. It's like, I remember the day when I saw the first Artosis pylon. Well, Artosis actually just has mispowered his building so many times, I think, that, you know, it's so hard to know when was the first time Artosis mispowered his building.
I don't know. I'm not going to touch that. Not going to touch it.
He's going to go back and watch these VODs. And
I know. He's going to be like,
he's going to put his milkshake down really hard and get angry.
He's going to be like washing dishes and watching it on his iPad, and he's going to be like,
it's his protein shake because he's vegetarian. Like, he's trying to get his protein, and I made him spill it. Now he's not going to have his protein for the day.
You're going to be responsible for Artosis getting sick. You might get a little bit of a cold because of that.
Well, I hope not.
You need your nutrients.
You do need protein if you're vegetarian. I'm sorry, Artosis, if you just spilled your protein shake. I'm sorry for any other nerds out there that got angry that I was teasing Artosis and spilled their protein shakes.
It's okay. We hang out with them all the time. They know.
They know. All right.
Know.
Well, we're going to have Game 2 on Antigua Shipyard here.
Not shipyards.
Nope, just one shipyard. Now, the Stalkers may try to blink onto another shipyard from here, but I think the distance is too far.
It's true. It's not like a shipyard like the first world in Donkey Kong Country 2. These aren't pirate ships.
No, they're not pirate ships.
These are for, like, spaceships.
Yeah, it's an abandoned shipyard.
Would it be cool if there was a map that was on a pirate ship, though?
I don't know. That would be weird.
I think it'd be awesome.
Well, we have differing opinions.
All right. Agree to disagree. When in Rome.
Could be space pirates, I suppose. Anyway, we're going to jump into Game 2 here. Oz versus JYP. Can JYP